And we're in Indiana.
Just outside of Lafayette, Indiana, where Purdue University is at. Yeah, without further ado, I'm going to start my message. To start my message with you all tonight, I wanted to share a special story that I was told once, and I think is very powerful, as you will all come to find out. Okay, so a group of guys went to a park to go spelunking in a cave. They met with a tour guide to take them through the caves. The tour guide informed them of all the gear they had on, including where to find their headlights and the backup headlights in case the headlight on their helmet went out. Everyone was put in order, and one of the guys in particular was placed at the end of the line. Kind of thinking in your head, oh, that would suck. And everyone was great for a while, until they came to a spot in the cave where there was no floor. It was a tunnel with no floor, and what they had to do was place their back against the rock on one side and their feet against the rock on the other side, and kind of just skimmy their way through to the corner where the floor returned. And this wasn't like no ordinary where there's no floor. You shine the flashlight and there's no floor with the light beam going down. You can't find it. It's there somewhere maybe, but who knows. So they continue, and the last guy at the end of the pack gets into the tunnel area that they're all having to squeeze through, and he's shimmying along, and everyone else just gets right around the corner, and his helmet light goes out. He's swamped, like just completely swamped by darkness. So dark he can't even see his hand in front of his face. It's an unexplainable darkness, like it's one of those that you have to be underground to understand. And he's like freaking out, and all this is going through his head, and he's just so stressed out. And so the first reaction is scream. And he screams like a girl. And if you're a full-grown man, that's kind of embarrassing to be in the middle of the cave with your friends around the corner and scream like a girl. Needless to say, he's screaming. His brain is swamped with the idea that there's no security. There's no floor, and there's complete darkness around him. He can't see the wall on the other side or the wall behind him, even though he knows it's there. And he's just all this is going through his mind, and he believes there's no one coming to help him, and he thinks he's going to die. And so his only thoughts are despair. And he doesn't even think about that there's a backup headlight on his shoulder. And so he just, only thoughts of despair were rushing through his head, rather than the thought of remembering the backup light on his shoulder. He felt alone and lost till one of his friends finally came back around the corner with their headlight. So I heard this speech at an FFA convention when I was junior in high school. It was given by the then National FFA Southern Region Vice President. And he told this story, and he was the one where his headlight went out. And it was really interesting because he told the story while reenacting it on the stage. So, his story is about going spelunking with friends, and it illustrates creatively how I have been impacted by God this semester. Many times at the beginning of my first year here at Albion, I believed I had control over the plan of my life. Now looking back, I have come to realize that God has an even greater plan than any of the ones I could ever come up with. God gave me encouraging people here at Albion, empowering professors, and enlightening academics. Those all had aided me in the beginning of my journey here at Albion, but looking back at who I was before I came to Albion shows an even bigger way that God has impacted me. I was not the Christian some of you see me as today. When I arrived here on campus, I did not go to church on Sundays, with the exception of going on holidays. And I thought I knew well who God was. I thought of God as a distant overseer, one not present in my current life. I believed I was in control of my life, much like the guy in the story earlier believed he was in control, moving along in that tunnel with no floor, with the security of his headlight. God had a plan for me as he has a plan for everyone. He worked through the people around me, those in crew, intervarsity, and church, and opened my clouded and proud eyes. I share this with you because now I know that I am not in control, and no matter how much I feel I'm in control or lost, God has a greater plan for me. It is sometimes when we are trying to give up everything to God that we grow afraid, because we cannot see the path ahead of us. We cannot see the path between point A and point B. The guy in the story earlier knew this uncertainty and fear as much as I did, just in a different way. He experienced that fear of not knowing what lies ahead in the dark cave with no floor. I have felt this fear so much in my continuing journey to give up control. Sometimes I feel as though the ground is no longer beneath me, only a vast cavern. What has kept me from getting encompassed by the fear, you may ask, and giving up control has been God, and He's been working through those around me to help me all the way. Just as giving up control has been a fear of mine, I have also battled with sharing, speaking about, and showing my faith. I worry how others will see me and interpret me when they witness my faith. However, that's just the tip of the iceberg and not the only thing. My biggest fear was that in expressing my faith, I would offend someone of a different faith. I fear, as I know some are depicted in the Bible, that I would be ridiculed and persecuted for my beliefs. And I was and still am afraid of overstepping someone else's faith by showing mine. Crazy, right? How could anyone believe that, living in a country where the freedom of religion is protected? How could anyone think that? But it's true, and there are probably some here who understand my struggle. I have grown to understand that God, even with the chance of me being ridiculed by others, wants me to grow in my faith and not be afraid to show my beliefs. Joshua 1:9 says, I command you, be strong and steadfast. Do not fear nor be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. God is with me through whatever harsh experiences I may have, and is with you wherever you go in this wide, wide world. I have come to know through my first semester here how God is always with me through the long nights of studying and questioning about my faith. Time and time again, we experience and endure hard times, questioning moments, sad moments, stressful weeks, and unfortunate events. We can feel absolutely alone or lost during these days and times, and forget to see the light and beauty of God all around us. A light and beauty found within the nature of the world, in those around us, and inside of us. Sometimes all it takes to help someone push aside the storms weighing them down, or the darkness surrounding them, is to simply shine your own light upon them. Matthew 5, verse 16 says, Even so, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father who is in heaven. By showing our faith and shining our light, we bring other people to God and fulfill them with His love. Do not be afraid to show others your light, because sometimes even a small amount of acknowledgement, happiness, or laughter passed on can lessen the burden someone is carrying. Don't be afraid to show your faith or give up the want to control, because God is with you and will lead you wherever you go. When we are scared, we try to control the problem ourselves. The man in the story forgot about his backup headlight, and in his time of fear and apparent hopelessness, tried to take control of the situation. One friend, shining his light upon him, made him realize he had his own light to shine, his backup light. Just as we can help someone else grow in their faith so that they can shine their light too. Shining our faith and light upon others in times of difficulty can drastically change people for the remainder of their lives. I believe that my favorite quote, written by Marianne Williamson, exemplifies how impactful shining your inner light can be. She wrote, "And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. Be that friend in the cave that turns around and sheds light on someone else.